Now, in terms of, for example, trying to account for these ESG risks, we have several methodologies. There's this complexity that we were saying that there is not a single way of accounting for the risks. And one of the methodologies is precisely the true value that we are seeing over here, and that was proposed by KPMG. And this what says is, well, we traditionally see in finances like P&L, or we can have this in different financial statements and so on. But these traditional financial, let's say, returns have to account also for several, let's say, externalities or several costs that we may have. In this case, for example, we have the traditional well, let's say revenues over here, right? So in the traditional costs that we may have. And if we see, well, this is the return and that's pretty much it, we're not seeing the full story because there are emissions that have to be accounted for. So if we, for example, put a price, market price to these emissions, then this is going to be a cost that we have to pay. Then there is, for example, this part of the resource use and the scarcity of a particular material. So in order to recover this material, in order to let's say try to figure out this kind of circular economy, then there is going to be a cost in order for us to pretty much recover that particular material. There's this energy use, right? So there's expected increases, for example, in the cost of extracting fossil fuels versus some other renewable energy. So that is a cost that I'm accounting over here. Then there is a conflict, for example, in terms of this mineral risk and so on. So if the communities that we are pretty much extracting these materials in this, for example, for batteries, right, or lithium or whatever, begin to have these problems in terms of social conflicts and so on, the way of managing not only those conflicts and in the community, but also in terms of security, that can be pretty much included local pollution. So it is not only, for example, in terms of recovering, but also the pollution that we are generating in terms of water, in terms of so on and so forth. Technologies to be less noisy and so on. And if we have to invest in terms of safety in order to keep on our operations. And if we, for example, have to increase this travel time because, for example, this, for example, different designs may be not possibly using this in a way that for example keeps on or accounts for the way that we're operating nowadays and so on, then we begin to see, let's say, the costs that are kind of hidden from different issues that are related to ESG, and the true cost is going to be precisely this kind of difference, right? From the revenue or the traditional cost that we were taking into consideration, but also in terms of the accounting of ESG factors, trying to reach out for this kind of true value, right? And this is just one of the methodologies. I don't want you to leave here like with the image that this is the only methodology, but it actually helps us to understand this new, let's say, perspective of trying to incorporate ESG factors.